Welcome, everybody. It's Shelly Jeffcoat, and I'm actually doing a pre-recorded for June 7th, Tipsy Tuesday. This is when we usually talk to the grown folks because it is my sweetheart's birthday, and I do not intend on hanging on live. We're going to be celebrating my husband's birthday, and so I did want to come on and just share some things that I was going to talk to you guys about next Tuesday. So three things. So first of all, I'm Shelly Jeffcoat, and this is Slice of Pie. What we're trying to do is build a community of kind of like-minded, positive thinkers, and PI stands for Proud, Inspired, Empowered. And you can learn more about PI and all of that, all of what that entails, including some of the books and resources we have on our website, learncoachmodelgroup.com. You can see it down in the banner below. So today I wanted to just share a few things with you guys. I do get a lot of questions because of what I do in my day job, all around values and branding, and that's really important. I think, as a lot of us are, whether you're an analyst or a customer service rep or teacher or a lawyer or a C-suite individual. It doesn't matter what you're a stay-at-home mom, you're a blogger, influencer. We're all having to shape our messages a little bit different, and in the way that we present ourselves, and building our personal brand. So our personal brand is essentially the representation, it's our reputation. And a lot of times on social media, and especially if you guys are in the corporate America space on LinkedIn, you'll see there are tons of courses and professionals who are talking about personal brand and selling you some kind of service. But I wanted to touch on kind of the foundations of what that is, and just a few things that you could use if, especially, you're trying to build a business and your reputation is going to be kind of core to being successful. So first of all, when I think about personal brand from a person's perspective, not employer brand, meaning the corporate perspective, a personal brand is essentially walking into the room before you get there. It is who you are. It's what you're known for. So in order for you to have a personal brand, which is, the outward expression, the look and feel, all the beautiful colors and the brand work and images and, things of that nature. Before you get to that, you actually have to start with identifying what your actual values are, because that is the foundation. So when I say identifying your values, it's really getting a good sense of what's important to you, and what do you want to be known for. So for example, if you want to be known as someone who's honest, as someone who has integrity, who's someone who's knowledgeable, someone who's competent, who's confident, someone who is reliable, all of those are actual core values to yourself. So you have to identify what those are, because that is what gets wrapped into the message of your personal brand. That's what you become known for. So in my day life, I'm known as someone who's very credible in my space. I'm a thought leader in my space. That comes from understanding also what the values are. What's the value that I give to my clients, right? And that then becomes a part of the brand, the expression, all the photos, all of those things, right? All of the outward expression of what it is that I'm trying to show people who I am. And when I say that your brand goes in the room before you, if you are terrible at servicing your clients, if you're not responsive, if you're not credible, all of those things are in the room before you get there. That is a part of your values. So if you're saying that you are, you have integrity, you have great customer service, you're responsive, and those things. If you're not, that's actually talking about you before you get there. So you have to establish your values before you actually create this brand. Again, the outward expression, the look and feel, the photo shoots, the beautiful Instagram images that are your outward expression. Your personal brand has to support your reputation, and that takes a lot of work. And it is really important, regardless of, like I said, what job you're in, whether you're a teacher. So if you think about this, as teachers are engaged on social media more so than they were in, a lot of us when we were going to school, right? I'm in the over 50 category. And our teachers, we weren't on, there was no social media. We weren't on social media, and they were, we didn't know anything about our teachers. But you better believe that our teachers nowadays are highly active. It's another way for them to connect with the communities in which they serve. So when you think about it as a teacher, what is your personal brand and your reputation and how you're putting yourself out there? How do people see you? So if you're on social media, for example, if you're on Facebook and you're a teacher and you're putting up inappropriate posts, right? Eventually that comes back to bite you, but that becomes your reputation. So you might be posting something on Facebook and someone Googles you and they find out that, this is who you are even before they met you. So your brand would have gone ahead of you. And that's what you don't want to have happen. So you just got to be very careful of, the outward expression, how, some of the content that you're sharing, especially if you are someone who is trying to move into an entrepreneurial space where your clients are going to find out about your reputation. If you are just starting out in the working world, and trust me, the party pictures do show up. You just want to make sure that you're kind of managing what it is that you're putting out on the ether, on the social media space. So those are, the first thing is one, really identifying your values, understanding what's really core to you, and two, then you build a brand, the representation around that to reflect that. And some of what I'm talking about how to actually understand your values, we do have that in the Learn Coach Model book. I'm probably doing a terrible job of sharing it, but this is the first workbook. It walks you through each section. It actually talks about learning about who you are, and it gives some prompts. How do you learn your values and actually change? You do have to change your mindset, right? And so there's some prompts about, what are you passionate about? What do you want to be remembered for? Who and what inspires you, what the success looks like. And then it takes you through an exercise where you can actually look at some examples of core values to try to define which one resonates the most with you. And then you get to select your final list and then develop your pattern. That will help you work through how to find your values before you build out your brand, right? So that's the first thing. Gotta understand what your values are. That's what leads into you creating your brand, your reputation, before you get to the outward expression of posting like crazy. So that's the first thing. The second thing I wanted to talk about is a question that I get a lot from people. Again, the nature of what I do in my day role is I am on a lot of presentations with large scale organizations, and I do talk to a lot of C-suite members. That's just, again, part of what I do. My job is, I build cultures. That's what I do, right? So one of the questions that I get a lot, as you can probably see, is what's on your wall. And I thought this was so interesting. A lot of us, when the pandemic hit, because we were working from home, a lot of folks were decorating their walls like crazy. And if you watch the news, all of a sudden, all of the news reporters, some of them had walls of books. And I thought, wow, what a learned individual. All these books, does that mean that what is it representing? It then became a part of the brand. So when you come on video and you saw someone who a professor or a teacher or an anchor, a news anchor, etc., and you saw a wall of books, it was representing the brand that they wanted you to see, which was that they were a learned, knowledgeable, credible individual. So that is an example of branding on the wall. So if you look behind me, on my wall, it actually does represent who I am, what I'm most proud of, what I'm inspired by, and what I'm empowered by, right? So my wall says that I'm actually very proud of my family. So if I panned my computer, you'd probably see a lot more photos of my family on that particular side. I'm inspired by beauty, and you can't see it from this lens. I might have sometimes I rotate out some of the images here, but I'm obviously inspired by beauty. You can tell by my glasses, you can tell by my artwork. And if I panned my computer, you could, you'll see the walls in front of me that has some of the things, has a lot of, really colorful artwork. I'm inspired by that, and I'm empowered by knowledge. So on another side of my wall, you can catch all of my, well, 6 of my books, and they're framed nicely. And then I'm in a number of called nerd clubs, but they're all behind me, and so I'm showcasing that. But that is a part of my brand. So you have an opportunity to even use your wall to represent your actual brand. And here you got to be careful, because if you're presenting a package that's not authentic, people will know. So if you're an entrepreneur and you have the ability where you're doing a lot of pitches on video, still a lot of folks are still doing hybrid, where some of them are working, you're working from home. A lot of you guys who are on, scrolling Facebook at night, you're working in jobs where you may be going into the office 2 or 3 days a week, and the rest of the time you're working from home. Be very mindful of what's on your wall. You can actually use it to your advantage. You can use it to tell stories of how people can connect with you. So this is also where you can take the opportunity to represent your brand on your wall. And again, this is nothing new. A lot of influencers have they've figured this out. If you go over to YouTube and you click on a how to clean video, the space behind them, they're showing you all the living room and all those things, right? What are they selling to you? But if you're in a situation where you're working in an office space, kind of like I am, and you want to tie your brand and represent it on your wall, use your wall to tell your story. And over time, as you mature, if you're an entrepreneur, as you start maturing in your business, and you have customers who are giving you great reviews, and you have a framed artwork of your customer reviews, or great vacations you've taken, all those things are really you can really play into those, into building out your wall. So for those of you who are working in office spaces and you don't have the wall space to do that, just think of other ways that you can share who you are as your brand, in a visual way, and make that a part of your brand. Another thing that has become a part of my brand, and this was by accident, y'all. I have a little shopping habit when it comes to glasses, and I changed my glasses a lot. And they're for the most part, they're different bold colors. And quite frankly, it's because I love colors and I was bored. But I've developed this as a part of my brand, that people come to expect that I might be wearing red today, I'm wearing blue tomorrow, I'm wearing gray another day, I'm wearing, they're just kind of, and they're functional. These are not for show. These are actual functional glasses, because I need to see. But this actually became a part of my brand. So I would attend meetings and people would be asking me before I go, what color your glass is going to be? It's a part of me. It's a reflection of my creative nature. And so I adapt it. I love it. And I lean into it. And sometimes before I go to meetings, I'll say, hey, y'all, it's red today. It's a red day, right? And I'll show up in my red glasses. All of these things tie into your personal brand. And again, it's all about your reputation, how you're presenting yourself. So before I get into a room, people already know my brand has gone ahead of me, and people know what to expect. They know that I am creative, right? Because that's a part of my brand. That would have gone ahead of me. I'm organized. That would have gone ahead of me. Things like that. So again, I just want to jump on and just share some quick tips, especially for those of you guys who are budding entrepreneurs, or not. Maybe you're not an entrepreneur, and you're working in your day gig, your night gig, and you're pressing through, and you just want some really quick tips on how you can build out your personal brand. Again, you can start with our book, Learn, Coach, Model, that kind of walks you through how to identify the values. We always end with P.I.E. What are you proud of? What are you inspired by? And what are you empowered to do? And we can come back and talk about what does that look like, how you can actually adapt that into your day job. But stay tuned. And again, I really thank you for your time. I hope you find this useful. Personal brand is really important, because if you, for example, if you go on and just Google yourself, Google yourself on social media and see what comes up. And if that is the brand that you want to represent, then you're on good track. If it is not, then you got to make some changes. And some of those things on how you can improve what you're putting forth in social media and how you present yourself as a professional, and how do you adapt your brand and things like that. We can help you with this, and we'll be back on our Tipsy Tuesdays. I don't have a cocktail, by the way. I don't drink, but you're welcome to. So Tipsy Tuesday is just a light, fun connection. And if you have questions, please reach out to us. You can find us on LinkedIn. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the channels. You can ping me at support@learncoachmodelgroup.com. Just let us know what you're thinking, and how is your personal brand coming for you? What is your personal brand? What are you selling and telling about yourself? And again, it doesn't matter if you are an entrepreneur or you're going, day in, day out, clocking in, clocking out. It is how you're representing yourself to others. All right, so that's what I had. I'm really pleased, glad to pop in here and give you guys what's working for me. I hope this is working for you. I want to learn from you as well. So drop me some comments. Let me know how it's coming for you. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Again, this is pre-recorded because I am celebrating my husband's birthday, June 7th, y'all. Thank you, and have a blessed weekend.